What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. We've finally got some Treasure Cruise news to talk about today, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the brand new data download for the new batch, which of course is none other than Koby. So Koby, as we all kind of predicted, is going to be the next SugoFest exclusive, and he is going to be dropping here as a treasure map legend, and it is going to be debuting on October 12th, at 1700 PST time. So that's a little bit of a weird timing. This might be for the episode that's going to be airing. Yeah, it is going to be, it looks like it's going to be airing for the episode that is happening this weekend. So this character obviously is going to be featured during that episode, and we're going to go through his abilities today. I mean, we already kind of had the info. There was a data download that was pushed to Japan maybe about half an hour before the actual news time here for Global. And we kind of have a fair idea about what he does, but the translations were a little choppy. So we're going to go through all of the abilities today. And I feel like it makes a lot of sense if this Koby has like synergy with this GARP. I feel like it just makes perfect sense. This Koby should work with the new GARP. So if that is the case, I'm anticipating him to have abilities focused around end of turn healing, which, as we kind of talked about when GARP got his reveal, that was kind of one of the most disappointing components, is that this character GARP that was like super destructive with his abilities was focused on healing, and it just didn't make sense. So hopefully Koby is a little bit better. There's also two new treasure map recruits here with Kuzan and young GARP, so we'll see what those characters are all about as well. But I'm here to talk about Koby first. Let's break down exactly what he is, what he's actually doing. So Koby is a Psi Fighter Cerebral. He is a final tap unit. He has fear reduction, which I assume is 5. Yep, he has pinch healing 2 times if you're 99% or less. That is the best pinch healing in the game. That's absurdly strong. Holy cow, dude. I've never seen pinch healing like that before. That's insane. And he does have final tap, which we'll have a look at in just a moment. Let's have a look at the sprite real quick. I mean, the sprite is pretty underwhelming. He doesn't do much. Hopefully the attack animation looks good. So let's have a look and see what he actually does. Captain ability. Reduces crew's special charge time by 1 turn at the start of the quest, boosting Fighter, Striker, and Cerebral. Fighter, Striker, that's odd. Fighter, Striker, and Cerebral. Oh, I guess it's supposed to work with the sword characters, which I believe are strikers and shooters. It's still strange either way. Fighter, Striker, and Cerebral, 5.25 times attack, 1.25 times HP. Psi and Tandem slots will be beneficial to those units. 15% damage reduction, all pretty stock standard so far. If you have the Fighter class Territory active, it boosts fighter characters' attack by about 6 times, okay? So that's a pretty good captain ability multiplier. I mean, 6 times is very good, but you only get it during the times you have the Territory active. So it's not going to be all the time, but during your burst turns, you'll get it. If the crew uses a special to apply Territory for any class, heals the crew by 6,000 HP at the end of the turn for 7 turns. This is exactly what we were kind of anticipating. And also reduces crew's special bind and bind duration by 6 turns, up to 2 times per quest. This effect will activate even if the Territory effect cannot be applied due to having a shorter duration. Okay, yeah, so that's something with Territory, is that if you've already got a Territory activated, that's like a 3-turn Territory, if you activate like a 1-turn or a 2-turn Territory, it won't actually override it. The one that has the longer duration is the one that stays on the field. So this is saying that even if you activate like a Territory that doesn't overwrite the last one, it will still trigger this effect to apply 7 turns of end of turn healing and the removal of 6 turns of special bind and bind. Now, when I read this, it just gets me a little concerned about what abilities we're going to see in the treasure map itself, because if they're focusing this whole event around using Koby as the captain, this ability within the captain is going to be really, really strong. So we'll see how it goes, but I am concerned about the gimmicks in this TM. We'll see. So remember, if you use him as a captain, you get access to the superclass. Superclass, you need to have one of the following units. You've got Luffy, Garp, Tashigi, Helmeppo, Groose, Kujaku, Hibari, X-Drake. So pretty easily accessible, I would say. The effect, 70 times his attack in non-type damage to all enemies, ignoring all defensive effects and defense, reduces special bind duration on himself by 10 turns, changes all slots including block into tandem, and extend the duration of your end of turn healing by 1. if there is a character and their second class is shooter, it changes their second class into fighter for 2 turns, and then changes fighters into super fighters. This is actually a really good super class special. You've got damage that goes through defense, which is nice. You've got the 10 turns of special bind removal on himself, the full board of tandem, extended duration of the end of turn healing, which is like, kind of whatever, right? And then the ability to potentially change a unit into fighter, but it is only if their second class is shooter, so it's a bit restrictive in that manner. But I think just generally speaking, like in a vacuum, it's actually a pretty good super class effect. It's just the fact that, once again, you know, fighters are not really the best class in the game. So I just don't see where this character kind of fits in with things. Like, I just don't see this character being ultimately useful as a captain in a lot of circumstances. Aside from the fact that if you use the special to apply territory, you are removing bind and special bind by 6 turns. And that can be launched up to twice per quest. I think that effect is actually really good. But you need to have characters that apply. Now, I fully expect his special to apply territory, but we'll see. Let's continue on. Special ability, 14 turn cooldown. That's with limit break expansion as well, so pretty high cooldown. 150 times the attack and non-type damage to all enemies, ignoring everything except for normal attacks only, of course. It boosts fighter, striker, and cerebral slot effects by 2.75 for 2 turns. Okay, that's fine. Just an all boost for 2 turns. If this character is your captain, or basically if this character is in the top row, it will apply fighter class territory. So you only get the territory if you're the captain. Interesting. Well, I mean, it obviously works because in order to use the ability in the captain, you need to activate a territory special. Koby gives you a territory special only when you're the captain, but if you're not the captain, he doesn't apply territory. Okay, it's interesting design. The fighter class territory, which we all know what that does, which is very good. And then that lasts for 2 turns. It reduces the crew special charge time by 1 turn. It will further increase your slot effect boost by 0.25. Okay, so basically, if you use him as the captain, the orb boost becomes a 3 times orb boost for 2 turns. If you use this special when you're a crewmate, it reduces special bind and bind duration by 6 turns. That seems very good. And extends the duration of your orb boost by 1. Okay, so if you use him as a captain, you get a bigger orb boost, but for 2 turns. If you use him, and you also get the territory as a captain, but if you use him as a sub, instead of getting the bigger orb boost and the territory, you will get the ability to remove bind and special bind by 6, and then the orb boost, while it doesn't get buffed, it will get extended by 1 to become a 3-turn orb boost. Okay, and then it says, then after that, reduces all enemies' damage nullification duration by 2 turns. That seems pretty good as well. I think that Koby's special is really nice, although I do definitely think that his special is just better when you use it as a sub, just straight up. I think the utility component in the special is the reason why people would go out of their way to use it. The territory, yes, it is a new mechanic and people can get really cool effects out of that. The thing is, though, is that even if you do use him as a captain, when you activate the special of this guy as a captain, he has the effect in his captain effect that says that if you activate a territory for any class, you remove 6 turns of special bind and bind. So you could kind of still use really cool characters like there's other territories that we've got, of course, like the free-to-play Hiyori. It's a cerebral class one. It's like a 1-turn one, so you could just use that. It will trigger Koby to just remove 6 turns of special bind and bind. So there's some cool like niche scenarios where you could just use random specials to remove bind and special bind because they, you know, as a side effect give you the territory effect. But to be honest here, it just straight up would be better if you just resisted bind and special bind instead of just having this effect in the captain that would remove it only if you use a territory special. So that's why I don't think Koby is like amazing. He's fine. He's not a bad unit by any means. It's just like not top tier. It just isn't, right? Let's move on though. Let's have a look at the crewmate ability. It will boost base stats for the whole crew by 60 and reduces his own special bind by 6. And reduces despair by 1 turn if you have a fighter class captain. That's a very good crewmate ability, understated. I know that characters like Zoro and Sanji dual unit from the Super Sugo Fest, they also have a crewmate ability like that. Although it's just flat out 1 turn of despair removal, like there's no condition attached to that. It's a very good effect. So the fact that Koby has that, it is good. So I like that. Now, let's check out this final tap. Now, I swear to God, if it's just something stupid like gain base attack, get a matching slot, I'm going to be pissed. Alright, at the final battle, when any of the characters are on the crew, Reduces all enemies' damage reduction by 50%. So reduces Rainbow Shield by 50%. And further boosts the chain multiplier of the final tap by 2x. Okay, this is better than the base attack boosting ones, but it's still not, like, game-breaking by any means. It's just fine. The final tap requirement is actually really good. At level 5, you just need one of the units. And, of course, the condition is kind of mid until you get it to level 5. Reducing damage reductions, so reducing Rainbow Shield by 50% honestly is kind of also mid. I'm not really a big fan of that either. I wish this was a lot better. And it's not amazing. Like, let's be real here. Like, Koby is a fine unit, but this is not the unit that you would go out of your way to spend a bunch of your rainbow gems to pull for. This is definitely a skippable banner. You don't need to use your rainbow gems here. You don't need this unit. It's crazy because they're hyping the hell out of this unit with the social media posts and stuff, saying, oh my god, you know, there's new Koby from the anime episode. And it's just like, I just wish that GARP and Koby were way stronger. They deserve to be way stronger than what we have been given here in-game. They just should have been stronger. Let's talk about Koby in Pirate Rumble. So he is an attacker-styled unit. So let's see. We already know that GARP is very good in Rumble. So we'll see if he has some good synergy. Fighter characters get special CT at level 4. That is good. Also, fighters get level 5 attack, then your side teammates get HP and a crit boost. So this could be good just for mono fighters, because mono fighters really need a lot of support. GARP was really focused on side characters, whereas this is actually focusing in on fighters. So we'll see how good this is. Fighters still need a bit more support for them to actually be good in Rumble, but this is a nice update. This is level 4 CT increase from a Rumble ability is very good. 30 CT special. Targets enemies in a large horizontal range for 5,000 fixed damage. Fighter class teammates, level 8 attack. And then targets your whole team for a 10% CT reduction, which is barely anything. Target one teammate with 100% special CT for 100% chance of haste. This is not a bad special by any means. 30 CT for what this is probably about right. Like, it's not overly broken, but it's not terrible either. Like, the 5,000 fixed damage for a large horizontal range, I believe that's the same range as, like, V2 Odin. So when you put that in perspective, like, yeah, this is really not going to do a ton of damage, really. But then giving your fighters the 8 attack up, I think is kind of cool. So your fighters will be hitting a lot harder. And then a 10% CT reduction, like, that's a slap in the face. 10% CT reduction really isn't that much. I know characters like Cross Guild, I think they do a 10% CT reduction, and that CT reduction really doesn't mean much, because if you, like, use a CT reduction of 10% and then you, like, just wait 2 seconds or 3 seconds, you basically get your CT back. So this is not really charging the characters up that much. Sometimes if characters are just about to be ready but not quite, this can help them get to that stage. And then if you have one of your teammates that does have max special, Koby immediately puts them to the top of the order. The thing is, though, is that this is a 30-second CT. How often are you going to be in a situation where Koby, like, uses his special and he's, like, the last unit on your crew to use a special and no one is ready to go, so no one gets to take advantage of the haste? I could definitely see that being a potential problem. As for the rest of the kit here, he does have the ability to evade damage over time. This is actually a lot better than what it used to be, because the versus Blackbeard is now a thing. Versus Blackbeard applying level 10 damage over time has proven to be a very powerful effect. So Koby being able to evade all of that Blackbeard's mechanic is really strong. And that's pretty much it. He doesn't have any GP stuff, just the bare bones basic stuff. So that's the breakdown of Koby. I just wish he was a lot better. I mean, let's have a look at the support. Attaches to the same units that he needs for his conditions. If you're inflicted with bind, reduce bind by 2 turns and increase your orbs by plus 0.2. This is a very, very good support. Very good support. All of these units receiving a bind removal support is really good. Luffy didn't particularly need it, obviously, but characters like Helmeppo, Tashigi, Garp, X-Drake, those ones in particular, getting a bind remover by 2 support whenever you're inflicted with it. Big thumbs up for that. I think that's probably going to be where Koby sees the most play as a support for those types of units whenever you see them in Treasure Cruise teams. So, yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's not bad, but he definitely could be way better. Let's briefly just go through the other characters here. So we've got GARP here. GARP is a strength fighter free spirit. Of course, he's going to be one of the boosters in this event. And the special ability reduces your whole crew's charge time by 1. It does 80 times its attack and strength damage to a single target. If you have used his special 0 times, it reduces damage reduction by 4 turns and will reduce your attack down by 4 turns and gets you a 2.5 chain boundary for 1 turn. If you've used his special 1 time or more, then it's a 6-turn removal for damage reduction, attack down, and boost the chain multiplier by 1.5x for 1 turn. And furthermore, if you have damage, end of turn healing with a duration of 3 turns or more, which is easily accessible, it will go ahead and reduces his own special charge time by 8 turns. Special charge time reduction effect of his own special can be activated up to 1 time, including any specials. Okay, so this is what they're kind of planning you to do, is use it early on in the content, get it back, and then use it again. That's what I think is trying to happen here. Let's have a look at the crewmate abilities. Strength and recovery slots are matching, fighter base attack boost, and then his support attaches to only Aokiji. Once per quest, if you use the special, reduce attack down by 1, and reduces the character's cooldown by 1. I mean, that's good. Attack down removal support, can't really complain about that. So GARP seems about fine. Oh my god, dude, his head looks so big. Is that just me, or is his sprite? His head looks freaking massive, yo. Alright, anyways, I digress. Let's talk about Kuzan. Kuzan, the other TM rare recruit here. His, interesting, his fighter shooter. That's a cool class combination. It reduces cooldown by 1. Deals 70 times attack and quick damage to 1 enemy. If you've used your special 0 times, it removes defense up and despair by 4 turns. And then also applies increased damage taken to all enemies by 1.75 for 1 turn. Seems pretty good. If you have used his special 1 or more times, it will reduce defense up by 6, despair by 6, changes the crew's attack multiplier of tandem and recovery slots to 2.5 times. And if you have 3 or more turns of end of turn healing, then it gives him 8 turns of cooldown. Very same structure to GARP, just doing different things, right? Just doing different things. In terms of his crewmate abilities, quick and tandem slots will be beneficial. Base HP boost. He has barrier pierce, which is very good. And then his support effect only attaching to GARP. Once per quest, if you use the special, remove 1 turn of despair, get 1 turn of cooldown. So that's the breakdown of the units. The TM rare recruits, they're meant to be used with Koby, and obviously we can't really use GARP with GARP, but they can be used with him. Like Kuzan can in particular. Koby, of course, has great synergy with GARP. I'm just not that excited for these units. I'm just not. They're just not. They're not enticing me. They're not grabbing me. They just needed to be a little bit better than what they've given us here. You know what I mean? In terms of other characters that are boosted, in terms of part 2, you've got Atlas and Nami Carrot are boosted. I still need Atlas, so I might wait for part 2. And then on part 3, you've got the Memories, what's his name? Usopp, Memories, Usopp, and Hina. I actually really want to get the Memories Frankie, so if he's boosted on one of the parts, I would love to get that. But I think I'll probably be pulling part 2 just for Atlas, but we'll see. I mean, the steps here, the first, on part 1, you've got the new character on the 4th multi. Part 2, you get a recommended character on the 4th. They always seem to... Oh, hang on, there he is. New GARP guaranteed on the 8th multi, which is crazy. And then new Kuzan on the 8th multi there. Recommended character on the 4th. New character on the 4th. So I think I'll probably do 4 multis on part 1 because I do want to get at least one of the new characters guaranteed. If you do 4 multis on part 2 or part 3, you are not guaranteed to get one of the new units, but you have a really good chance at getting one of the new units, but it's not guaranteed. I believe also on the Japanese banner it did mention that this Sugo Fest will be a 7.5% chance to get a legend. So it is slightly higher than an end of month batch. Actually, no, end of month batch is a 10% now. I think it's, yeah, if it is 7.5% chance, and that's actually bad compared to end of month batches. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this one down below in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed the video though. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.